Okay, I'm here to talk about watch duty. Um, we're the real-time disaster intelligence that you can trust. That's me. I'm David Altamirano. That's me, my email address if you ever need to get a hold of me or have further questions. My story is I'm a retired fireman. I worked for Orange County Fire in California for 35 years. I'd like to say I escaped to Arizona after I retired. And after that, a while after I'd been here a while, watch duty came on the scene. I reached out and said, "Hey, I'd like to help." And they said, "Well, we are not in Arizona yet, and we're only in California. And when we move eastward, we'll let you know." So a while later, they reached out and said, "Hey, um, we're eastward now, and we're in Arizona, and we'd like your help." So I quickly came on as what we call a contributor and a reporter. If you're familiar with watch duty, reporters are the ones whose name be by the post. And I did that for about 3 years. And as of recently, well, I'm sorry, 6, 7 months ago, I became what they call the agency representative. And what I do now is I do this, make presentations, talk to different groups, and I work with emergency services, police, fire, and OEM, Office Emergency Services, to be a conduit between them and watch duty, um, so we can get the information into the app. So, what is watch duty? We're a free app. We're free on iOS, Android, and you can get us on the web too. We're actually a nonprofit. Uh, we don't take any advertising, sponsorship, or government funding. I know that surprises a lot of people, but we don't want to be beholden to anyone who's sponsoring us or take government grants or uh, whatnot. And like I say, we are a nonprofit, and no login is required. You simply download it and forget it, and we don't collect your personal information. So, watch duty notifications. If you have watch duty now and um, you have the mainland set, or the counties on the mainland, the islands, for notifications. You probably heard that familiar sound. So what that is, it's the reports we send when there is a fire in the area. We have three different types. We have a full incident, we have a silent incident, and we even post prescribed fire now, which is be interesting to you folks. The full incident is when it's notable and we want everybody in the area to know it's a notable fire. Maybe it has evacuations or it's just large. Maybe there's aircraft flying over and you know water dropping helicopters and whatnot always get people's attention. So we make it a full incident, which sets off that tone, so folks know what's going on. The silent incident is just like that. We post it. You'll see a little stricken bell icon if you've seen that before. And what that does, it's just more of a minor fire. It hasn't reached much growth potential and whatnot, um, but we still want it posted on our app. Hey, our mission is to be the definitive platform for disaster intelligence, starting with wildfire. And I say starting with wildfire because we want to eventually move on to additional types of disasters. And that's why our name is watch duty, not fire duty, not flood duty. How we get our signals, what we're trying to solve is, and you folks probably know this by trying to get information on fires near you or any kind of disaster. There's so many data sources, so much real-time data, and you don't know where to go. One site saying one thing, another site saying something else. Then you have these people, you have folks with social media who are posting things, and it gets there. Sometimes they may hype it up or get a little over dramatic. And also, different operating platforms will work on this. I've got an iPhone, it doesn't work on my iPhone. I have an Android, it doesn't work on my Android. And not every one wants to share information um, with within those types of sources, but so we make it and we put all the information in one place so you're able to find it. Okay, we are in three counties now. I'm sorry. we started off in 3 counties. Now we're in 3,244 counties. We expanded nationwide in December. So we cover the entire U.S. And Alaska, and you can see Hawaii there. We have 20 million active users. So that's a large reach we have. I'm going to talk a little bit how we started. The way we started is our founder, John Clark Mills, was one of these fellows from Silicon Valley who uh, did made did very well and sold the company he had and moved out to the country. Um, he woke up one day to the sound of a helicopter and he noticed that it was a firefighting helicopter and the pilot, he could see the pilot, and the pilot was motioning like get out. So um, he evacuated, and over the next couple coming days when he was evacuated, he tried to get information. He couldn't, and so he frustrated him. He had to wait either um, till the end of the day when some of these websites updated, some of the federal websites, and again, just the problems I just mentioned. He was getting inconsistent information. One site would say another one thing, and another site would say something else. So what he did is he called his engineers he used to work with in Silicon Valley and said, "Hey, can we make some kind of fire alerting app that lets us know where a fire is, alerts us, maybe wakes us up if it's in the middle of the night, and lets us know what's going on?" And the guy said, "Sure." So they literally put it together in 90 days, and they started off with 3 counties in Northern California, and now we're nationwide. We expanded nationwide in December, and we've really taken off um, in the Midwest and throughout the country. Um, if you're following some of those big fires they have right now in Colorado, they've got some really large fires just south of Denver. They have a number of fires going on in Minnesota, just over the border from Canada. And of course, Canada has all their fires. We're not in Canada yet. We do plan to expand our footprint eventually, but that's going to take a while. We don't want to exceed our bandwidth, if you will. So, what's the basic elements of WatchD? Uh, we believe you can make better decisions with more information, not less. So, in the app, we provide evacuation zones. If you're evacuated, you want to know where to go. Fire perimeters, that's the footprint of the fire. We get those downloaded from the aircraft that fly over the fire and take an infrared snapshot of it and download the perimeter to the people on the ground. We show satellite hotspots. If you use the app now, you may notice those orange glows. That's information from NASA satellites. It shows the general area where the fire is. We show wind direction, air quality, red flag warnings. You can access wildfire cameras. And I know there's a number on Maui, and I believe there's some on other islands too. We have weather radar, and for an additional cost, you can see the firefighting aircraft flying around. But all these other items, except for the aircraft, are free because we want the basic life safety things to be free. Just like when my boss, the founder, uh, was trying to get information, he wanted something he could get quickly without having to log on or purchase. And so our basic life-saving features will always be free. What we're not crowdsourced. And what I mean by crowdsourced is we don't get the information from, let's say there's somebody in California for a California fire or anywhere who runs the website and he gathers all this information. Or we hear, from a neighbor who talked to a neighbor, hey, I have a friend who was on the fire and he said it's 100 acres. We don't do that. We only take information directly from various agencies. Uh, Facebook, Twitter, or Nextdoor, we're one-way communication system. Well, we don't take information from any of those. The exception is if it's a Facebook or a Twitter account, ran by an agency. Um, Most fire departments and or OEMs and police departments have a Facebook page, and we consider that official information. But just some fellow running a social media page that reports on fires, we won't use that. A scanner app. We don't report on police activities. We're not a scanner app. Structure fires or traffic accidents. So a lot of times people say, "Hey, how come this fire wasn't on watch duty?" Well, it was because it was a house fire, not not a wildland fire. And we're not a government tool like Code Red, Zone Haven, Everbridge, and some of these other ones. Okay. So we're built by for communities and trusted and used by first responders. Like I said, I'm a first responder. I was a retired first responder. So that helps lend us some credence to who we are and what we do. And a very large number of people who work for us or volunteer for us are retired first responders, and we have some current first responders too. We're proud of this. We all know about the fires that burned LA, the Palisades and the Eaton fire. And this is the city of Los Angeles, so their second largest emergency operations center in the country. And you can see they have our map on their wall. And that made us pretty proud that they would choose us. Okay. We'll let it play. This is how we get our information.
A 911 dispatch center receives a call about a vegetation fire. Our automated monitoring system hears that 911 dispatch and alerts our team in our internal messaging tool, Slack. All available watch duty reporters in that region begin monitoring their radio scanners, wildfire cameras, satellites, and other public sources such as official announcements from law enforcement and fire services. The team vets all available information and waits for on-scene personnel to give an official report on conditions. If there is a threat to life or property, we will notify the affected public via the Watch Duty app. Our reporters follow a strict code of conduct when notifying the public. Reporters will continually monitor the incident and update the public along the way until the fire is extinguished or no longer a threat to life or property. Stay safe from wildfires when seconds count. Download the free Watch Duty app today.
So that was a real quick overview of what happens. We get the information, we have our reporters who gather it, compile it, and package it, if you will, push it to the app, and you get the alert. Okay. Our tech. We get it from various sources, like I said, the Highway Patrol, various wildfire camera sources. We do listen to radio feeds. We know how to interpret what they're saying, and that is sent to us. And in a program called Slack, it's a communication in a program that we can talk to each other. We validate it. We collaborate. Nobody makes a decision on their own. We bounce it off a couple different people, make sure that we have quality information, things that are formatted properly and written properly. And the alert goes out, and that's what you see on your phone. And we have value-added service, again, as what we add wind, satellite heat detection, which is the orange glows you see, air quality, evacuation zones, and aircraft. Okay. On the islands, a lot of your radios are encrypted, and fortunately, we can't hear them. I believe that there might only be one or two islands where folks can actually hear the fire department talking. Otherwise, they're encrypted for folks can't hear it. But what we've done in a lot of dead spots is we put radio devices in that allow us to gather even more information. Now, we wish we could do it in Hawaii, but again, we're unable to hear. And this is what the devices look like. We make these ourselves, and we we put them in various areas where people sponsor them. We have a code of conduct that everybody has to follow. We don't allow hearsay. we have to be able to point to something that fire department said this, the sheriff said this, and only official information. Again, no hearsay, no rumors, no opinion or editorializing. Uh, I'm a retired fireman. I hear things on the radio or I read between the lines uh, in a press release. I think they're trying to say this. I can't add that. Only, just the facts, if you will. No names or addresses or injuries. Nobody wants to hear about a loved one um, being hurt through one of our reports or their property burned. Um, there, there's other ways for them to hear. So we don't release that. And again, we collaborate before we send out our reports. So this is something, a code of conduct that we all sign and adhere to. And we've actually had to dismiss a couple of people for not going along with the program. Okay, I mentioned that we do prescribed burns. So what we do now, working with fire officials and uh, prescribed burn organizations, we allow the information to be placed in the app. We have a different icon. You could see the little green RX for prescribed burn. And what that does is people smell smoke. Maybe they see a helicopter supporting the burn or something. They wonder what's up, so they can check the app and it's just a prescribed burn. This doesn't wouldn't interest you folks too much. This is mostly for firefighters and other professionals that may use the program. We offer them different features, different upgrades. Oh, flooding. We cover floods now. There's a lot of flooding in Texas right now, as you've been watching the news from the mainland, and we're covering that. I actually just started this in June, so we we're prompted by the devastating flooding in Texas at that kids camp, and that really uh, made us put things into gear and get it out there because we felt we could be able to help. And we now have Ring camera integration. So if you have a Ring camera, you can opt in. You have to opt in. We're not going to access your camera without knowing about it. But what you do is you opt in and you let Ring send pictures to us, and it uses AI to interpret smoke, and it sends a picture to us. And if it's a good picture of value, we'll add it. So that's another feature. You can see those are a couple different pictures. And this also gives the firefighters an idea where the fire may be within the information sent to us from Ring is a geolocation, so we can know, okay, this is on First Street, so the fire is getting close to First Street, and you can see the fire trucks there, and you can see the red mark on the hill where the plane dropped their fire retardant. Thank you. Any questions?